am so sorry if that was loud. That sounded loud for me. And
No, it was good.
It was fine.
okay, cool. Well, 10 out of 10 opening, of course. I'm here with the Council of Great Gentlemen. I'm joined by the phenomenal one himself.
Hey.
He has retired this year, but he has come out just for this episode. And I'm also here with the Gunner Goat himself, champion of England, Ravi.
Listen. I'll be repping this for the next 6 to 8 business weeks.
You know what? I'm here for it. You deserve that.
I waited 22 years for this.
Absolutely. I cannot say anything bad about Arsenal in the Premier League.
There you go. I'll take
You
that.
should be polite about it.
But if you talk about the champions, sorry.
It's
Today,
working, damn it.
Today we are here to talk about season 1 of X-Men 97, and yes, of course, phenomenal one came prepared as always. And we're also here to do a preview of season 2, and maybe even further beyond. It is the rebirth of the X-Men. And, I realized something. It was a bit weird. When in episode 1, when Cyclops is like, "To me, my X-Men," Professor X is already dead. And since Cyclops is the leader, shouldn't he have said, "To me, my seamen"?
Streamcast.
Right,
Hello,
thank you for having me. I'm going.
Yeah, all right. This was fun, guys. So peace.
Hello, welcome to the Streamcast, bringing people together through gaming since 2018. I'm joined, like I said, by the phenomenal one, and Ravi. How you guys doing? What's wrong?
All good.
Yeah, fantastic, mate.
Love that. The phenomenal one calling from abroad just for this episode to talk about one of the greatest fictional IPs of all time. And I think we'll start with you. What is your earliest memory of X-Men?
Again, it was a 97 show. I remember watching it as a kid with my nan and my granddad. And yeah, I was having the figures. I remember having a battle damaged Sabretooth toy. It's weird, man. It's nice to see it do a whole 180 because now my son is 3 and he's now watching it with me, and I'm getting to experience what my nan and granddad experienced with me. It's a whole euphoria moment. I was like, oh, this is really weird. But yeah, it's cool, man. I'm buzzing for it.
That's really cute. I really love that. When something can transcend generations, that's how things get kept alive and they don't die, there's a lot of great shows and movies out there that we have enjoyed over the years, but they don't transcend. We don't talk about them. So that's really cool. And Rafi, how about yourself? What is your first X-Men memory?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I remember growing up watching the X-Men cartoon back in the late 90s with my older sisters, my cousins. It was the only things that were ever playing in the house were X-Men, the old 97 one, the Spider-Man cartoon, Power Rangers, and then I got into Pokemon when the others started aging out of that sort of kid show bracket. So for me, I was just I was going through the rotations of all them shows, and X-Men and Spider-Man were the two big ones for me, where it really just sort of captured my imagination, really, even from when I was 4 or 5. As I'm watching this, I was I'm just seeing it in my imagination all the time. So I just fell in love with the IP, and then obviously when the movies came out, I was just I was a big fan from the get-go. Some of the X-Men movies were a bit hit and miss. Let's not beat around the bush.
More misses than hits. Let's be real.
Well, some hits, some misses. Who's to say, really? But it's one of them things where it's just like you love the characters, you love what they sort of like represent, and like you as I've gotten older, you start to see that sort of like how that blends into sort of like actual real life, and I just think, you know, you can see so many comparisons with so many like you say like underprivileged backgrounds, or like even like you see the homophobia or like racism and all that elements out of it, and like, you know, like that's a big part of, for me, why I still love the IP. And I know that Andy froze. He was he like I was trying to keep that going as long as possible until until he unfroze. But Andy was having some technical difficulties on the like just before we actually logged on to the call. So
he did, didn't he?
he did. But you know, like we can chat about XMen without him. To be
it's
fair,
our
like,
show now.
who needs him? Like,
Who needs him?
This. Like, this is a 2-man show now.
Am I back? Can you guys?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You're back. Yeah. You, like the camera looks like it's from like 2006. With the picture rate, but it's
using my hotspot. This is bad. Okay. Sorry. Continue. If you were still going off, I'm gonna try and.
No. I was like, I did notice you froze, and then I was trying to keep it going as long as possible with how like I was basically I was this close to running through every XMen movie. You got back, but
fuck's sake.
Long story.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Love the movie. Really resonated with me, especially, you know, as like from a minority background, and the like similarities you can see with, you know, like racism and homophobia across like actual life. As I've gotten older, I've sort of resonated a lot more with the X-Men since then.
I think that's a very strong point, and that's definitely something I wanted to touch on later on. But I think it's great that you put that, because I think it's overt the way they tackle the issues, and I think it's one of the most palatable ways that discrimination has been discussed in fiction in a way that is digestible for young minds to understand. But also, you can also feel a way about it one way or the other, whether you agree with Magneto's side or Professor X's side.
Yeah. Is he gone? Is he frozen? Is he there?
Favorite X-Men?
Our favorite X-Men.
Ravi, I'll ask you first this time.
Okay. I have always thought Nightcrawler was the coolest guy. Like,
nice.
I think even though he's not one of like the core X-Men, I've always thought he's like the coolest one. Like just his powers, just the way he looks. I just like, I just think he's quality.
Fair. How about you, Reese?
So it's again, for me, when I was younger, used to be Nightcrawler. Again, loved his design, loved everything about him. But then as I've gotten older, I think my character likeness has changed twice. I went through a phase of really, really liking Rogue as like my main X-Man character. Then more so recently, again, after watching 97, it resonated more with Gambit. And then, I think Gambit just came into light for me a bit more than the other ones. Because don't get me wrong, I love Wolverine. I think everyone loves Wolverine. Don't know one person that doesn't. And everyone, there's the odd, well, I say odd, it's the subsection of, oh yeah, I love Cyclops. You don't really hear many people going, they love Cyclops compared to Wolverine. But I do like all the X-Men. But again, for me, I'd say top 3 would probably be like Gambit, Rogue, Nightcrawler. 100%.
Dope. That's strong. Okay, Ravi, top 3 X-Men. Sorry, you're giving me an idea for number 1.
Top 3. So as I said, Nightcrawler's in there in my top 3. I think I love the story of what Cable is.
Dope.
Because like the whole sort of like time travel, and then also being Nathan Summers. I think I've always thought that's a really cool story. And then of the OG X-Men, Storm, like just unbelievable. Like that is level. Like everyone's got like power levels and stuff. Like she is just like there.
Yeah,
Like for me, just like what she can do and just like how cool she is. 10 out of 10.
that's strong. I like that.
Sorry for butting in. Is she an Omega level mutant?
I think she is.
I think she is.
Well,
yeah.
I think they even class her as a goddess as opposed to Omega level, like
Wow.
because they reference her in the show a couple of times as a goddess, as opposed to like the Sentinels calling her out as an Omega level threat.
Fair. And Ravi is right on the ball. I know this man has X-Men knowledge at the back of his mind, an encyclopedia, if you will. And for me, I think my first memory of X-Men is actually the Evolution animated series. So I think this is a bit later on than the 90s series.
Yeah, it was
This
the
is
early
right.
2000s.
Mid noughties, yeah. And it's a different take that I think it centers more on the high school experience. So less of the, I guess, apocalyptic end of the world storytelling, more of the, oh, you're dealing with bullies here and you're trying to hide your powers and not trying to expose yourself. I really liked how, they used similar voice actors that the Canadian dub used for Dragon Ball Z. So there was instant recognition for me with Cyclops and Wolverine. Also, I feel they told a really strong story with the likes of Rogue and Nightcrawler and Mystique even. So I really, really enjoyed. Am I frozen? Am I good?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. I really enjoyed how they told that story in Evolution. But I think my absolute first memory is the theme song.
Yeah.
Of the original X-Men series. So, for some reason, I don't remember any of the actual series in the 90s, but I remember that theme song, and that's something that carried through to today. That was one of my personal, I guess, my bugbears. If they didn't use that original soundtrack, that original theme song, or some variation of it, I don't know. I might have had to pass on this 97 series. So I really do appreciate that Kevin Feige, that entire team, made sure that they got the rights to that theme song and were able to use it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, the
They
theme tune.
They had to use it.
It's such a standout. Like, it's one of them things you'd play and you'd be in the other room making a drink and you hear that music hit and you know instantly it's time to run to the living room to watch X-Men.
You know what time it is. Yeah.
and yeah, I agree. Like, I'm so happy they've got some form of a rendition of it, because if they didn't have it and it had some like weird version of it, you'd be like, oh, okay, like kind of takes away the point in it. But the way they've got it, and it's more like a little bit modernized because it's not exactly the same. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And I think if I was to answer my own question, top 3 X-Men, Cyclops, number 1. I'm that one guy. I saw a Cyclops visor going on Instagram, and I was like, someone should buy me that. My birthday's coming up. I want that. I might treat myself. I would actually say Wolverine as number 2, even though those two don't get on at all. Quite
Jean Grey.
You know what kind of man I am. But I think it's definitely something that I've he is someone I've appreciated as I've grown older. It's like the watching the lawful good guy growing up and understanding morals and taking lessons from that with Cyclops, and then with Wolverine understand that the world isn't as black and white as you perceive it to be, and having to understand that you might have to make some compromises and some shady decisions to kind of protect those that you love. And I think Wolverine deep down is a good person, but on the surface he's very hardened and he is very gruff and abrasive. I can appreciate that there are parts of me that I can resonate with Cyclops, and other parts I can resonate with Wolverine with. So I have a different level of appreciation for both guys. Third, that's a tough one. I would probably go with. Ooh, I don't have a third one. I'm sure I have a third one. No, Storm. It's Storm, obviously. She's cool as fuck. It's obviously Storm. I think that's a power that we have seen used in a lot of fictional mediums, but I don't think it's been told visually as well as it has been with Storm in the X-Men. Just an absolute control over the weather and obviously thunderstorms and stuff like that. I think she has been told the best throughout all the mediums that I've seen, whether that's comics, cartoons, movies, TV series. I think Storm has consistently been one of the best told characters in X-Men, and I think that's something that's always stayed with me, no matter what design that she has had or what individual stories she's had. It's always been very interesting for me to consume.
Yeah,
great.
All right, so obviously the big elephant in the room is we've had this amazing reboot, revival, whatever you want to call it, X-Men 97 brought to 2020. Was it 4? Anyway, this century. What are some of your favorite memories when it comes to the X-Men 97 series? Feel free to just jump in here and just have an open discussion.
I think the standout moment for me was Gambit.
Yeah,
I think no scene of that, the whole season 1 hit as hard as that. Well, I think that entire episode, because it built to it, and you had a feeling at the back of your head going like something bad's happening to someone here, but you didn't know who, you didn't know when, you didn't know how, and the way it played out with Genosha, and seeing sort of like the potential of what Genosha could have been, and as like an independent state as part of the UN and stuff like that, like it hit so much harder because it was a step towards acceptance, only for it to go so badly, like really, really badly, to the point where Gambit died. And there's no other way to sugarcoat it. Like it just like he sacrificed himself for that, and it's just like that ending scene of Rogue crying while holding him. Like I can hear it. Like even like I did like, as you guys know, I did a rewatch literally just this weekend, finishing it about 20 minutes ago. And it's just one of them things where it's just like that scene when I rewatched it, I didn't even have to look at the screen. It was seared into my brain.
Yeah, that's go ahead, Phenomenal One. Did you want to jump in there?
You took the words right out of my mouth. That scene hit me so hard on like a different level, because again, like as you quite rightly said, we knew someone was it was inevitable that someone that episode was going to die, and we just never know who. And then like Gambit making like the sacrifice, and then Rogue holds him, and I think I can't remember the exact line, but someone hopefully might be able to quote me on it. It was like she's like, I can't feel him no more, or something.
Yeah,
something
she
like
went,
that.
I can't feel you.
Yeah. And that line, and I think it went to black straight after that line. I remember sitting there sobbing, and I was like crying my eyes out. And again, watching it with my son, and he's like, "You okay, Dad?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Watch the show. It's happy." Like, I was like, that tore me up, and it's media like that which I feel like X-Men has got a grasp on, because again, whether it's like political or racial or just any form, they know how to hit an element of a feeling within a body. And it's so nice that again they've kept the stuff from the original into this series, and they've done it justice. It's not very rarely you see a remake or a reimagining of a show from the past to now and go, that's not the same. they've done it so well that I've sat there and I'm like, watched it 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I love this. I think it's great. I think it's hands down one of the best remakes or redoings of a show ever. And I know it's a bit of a bold statement, but I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I'd be right on there on that hill with you, bro. I absolutely believe that it's one of the best told seasons I've ever consumed, whether that's books or TV series. It is so good. And I think we are now in an era where people are ready to accept that animated content is not just for children, it's for everyone. Like, you told a very, very strong story about how you and your son enjoyed a very impactful moment and how it affected you both in different ways. And yeah, I think that's the elephant in the room. That's the big thing that happens in season 1 of X-Men 97. Spoiler alert, Gambit dies. And the only thing I can compare it to is when The Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. And
let him land. Let him land.
Hear me out before you cut me up. Hear me out. And that was one of the last mythical things where people were like, okay, I know this thing is scripted, but he's not gonna lose, right? This isn't gonna happen, right? And then it happens. The ref counts 3, and there's just deathly silence for, I don't know, 5-10 seconds. It's like, what? When I saw that scene, when I saw Gambit died, I was literally just staring into it, like, space for a minute. I didn't know what to do with myself. I wasn't crying. I wasn't outwardly sad, but I was just almost broken inside. I didn't know what to do with myself for a good long time, because they built him up so well in those, was it 5-6 episodes? They gave him a lot of character. He's obviously one of the more flamboyant, boisterous characters in the X-Men, but especially in this series, I think the storytelling mechanics that they use were so coherent, and everyone's got a personality, and everyone's consistent, and everyone's got morals, and you can kind of identify who's what and who would get along with who and who wouldn't get along with who, and the complex relationships between Gambit, Rogue, and Magneto is told really awkwardly well that you could perceive this to be a real life love triangle, where how Rogue feels about both men, but it affects them all in a weird way, and not being able to follow through with Gambit's journey specifically because he was a good guy, similar to Wolverine. He is a good guy, but he did some things growing up. He was part of a bad gang, so him trying to redeem himself or reconcile with that, but also condemning himself to the past life that he lived, was also sad. And it was also sad that he never got to truly forgive himself for that. So that hit me hard. And then another thing that I would give the creators of the X-Men, their attention to detail is top notch. I'm sure you guys noticed, but at the start of episode 2, the opening sequence, it changes from episode 1 to 2.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So Magneto reveals.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, when he announces he's the leader of the X-Men. Yeah.
He gets his own little bit. I'm like, oh shit, what? That's cool. It gives the series like a third or fourth dimension. It breathes new life to it. And when Gambit passes, he's replaced by Nightcrawler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then it hit me again because I'm like, oh, I like Nightcrawler, I really do, but
Gambit's
you
not
can't replace
yet,
him,
guys.
It's
very inverse.
It hurts. It's real to me.
It's on them ones. It's one of the best. I think it's better triangle than Scott, Logan, and Jean personally.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I've never liked that love triangle, to be fair.
No, because
it felt so weird.
It did, didn't it? It was like more like, oh well, I should be with her, not him, and it's like Wolverine throwing his toys out the pram more so than anything else, and you're like, oh, okay, well, tough shit, you can't. And then again, we had the instance of Jean Grey's clone being in the series, and then and then theoretically he gets his moment with Jean, but it's not Jean, and
Listen. If anything, and this is what I wondered when I was doing the rewatch. Surely for that love triangle, the clone is the best solution.
Yes,
like
100%.
Everyone's coupled up.
Yep, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like I was watching it and I was like, why is everyone making this out as if it's a problem now? Like, surely if they want to retire from the X-Men and just leave, they can. And then you got Madeline Pryor and Wolverine just still there and be like, yep, cool, we're now the power couple.
Yeah, exactly that. But talking along the lines of the Jean Grey stuff, when Logan has the adamantium ripped from his body, and then Morph is flying, I think saving Logan.
Yeah,
he turns to Jean Grey, doesn't he? And he goes, "I love you," because there's like rumors, like rumblings that Morph is gay. I'm not too sure. I watched.
So I think the point of Morph is that he puts on a mask to hide his true self.
Yes. Yeah, and then again, he turns to Jean and he's looking at Logan and goes, "Oh, I love you," and then you're like, "Oh, why would you say that? Like you're saying it as the person that he loves, but you wouldn't say that."
That's from his own place, yeah.
Yeah, that's from his heart. Yeah. So I like that little snippet they threw into it, because again, you didn't really look. Again, I clocked it more in the second viewing when I was like, "Oh wait, he's done this," and then it's chef's kiss. Like it's nice how they sprinkle in like little sub stories into the bigger picture of what's going on at that moment.
Yeah. You're back with us now, Andy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So I'm keeping an eye on my Wi-Fi. So if you see me looking off, looking worried, is that or? Oh dear.
You are cutting in and out.
Yeah, you are a bit choppy.
Looking, sounding okay, or?
Yeah, it's a little bit choppy, and you kind of sound like you're in a microwave, but it's fine.
Good old Wi-Fi.
Okay.
To be fair, I do respect the commitment to the bit here. In that it is X-Men 97, and you're using dial-up internet.
No, fuck it. fuck it. No.
Is someone using the phone in your household?
I just wanted to take you back to 97, guys.
Yeah, listen, I respect it. It's commitment.
Oh God.
Sorry, guys. Damn, this is not great. This is not great. Were there any moments that really surprised you in the series?
Gambit dying. I know we've spoken about it, but I think that struck me so much that it kind of like hurt a lot. I was like, damn. And the fact that Magneto actually ripped the adamantium from Logan as well. I love that scene. Like visually, it's a beautiful. It's not beautiful because he's getting kind of tortured theoretically, so it's not beautiful. But the whole perspective of seeing like adamantium coming out of his skin, I was like, that's so cool. Like, and it leads to hopefully feral Wolverine, which I'm all for.
Yeah, I hope so. That was a very cool shot, though. I won't lie. That was, like you said, very beautiful to see. I thought it was cool. I think season 2 is going to be very interesting. Either you've seen the trailer, Ravi. Yeah. You have not. You don't want any.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, because I started getting really bored of trailers telling me exactly what I'm going to be seeing in
Yeah.
whatever show. And like, it's not just Marvel products. Like, it's so many trailers. Like, I was in the cinema the other day, and there's a horror movie trailer that they put out, and they literally show you how like 3 of the 5 people in this die. And I'm like, surely that's the whole point of a trailer. Like, the trailer is to not show this, and
Yeah.
that I want to know what happens to these characters in said film. So it's one of them things where I was hesitant to watch it just because I didn't want to find out what's going on. And obviously, like, as I said to you guys before we went live, I've not seen it still. So like, if you do say anything about the second for the second season trailer, you'll get my live reaction to what's happening in it.
See, I've watched it once. I'm kind of like you.
Yeah.
I like to. I like trailers because it gives you that glimpse of what's to come, and I'm all for it. But as you quite rightly said, I think I watched the same trailer for that horror movie. Was it like Passengers or something like that, or
something like that? Yeah.
What's the point of going? Here's how this person dies. That, and you're like, oh, I don't really need to watch the movie then. Like, the ending is the outcome of whatever happens after all of this. So I don't see the point in it. So I've watched the trailer once, and I left it at that because I didn't really want to spoil way too much for myself. Because again, I went into this series blind too. Like, I didn't watch the trailers for it, and I knew it was coming, but I was like, whatever happens. Hopefully, it runs and it's good. And then when I watched it, I was like, this is amazing. I have no doubt in my mind that season 2 is going to live up to the expectations of season 1. But I know they've already renewed it for another 2 seasons already. So season 3 and 4 are coming as well. And from what I've heard, they don't want to leave it as long as a gap between this season and season 1 and 2. I think they want to try getting a new season out within the next year or year and a half. So whether that be a good thing that we're getting more X-Men, or if it's a bad thing where they're going to regurgitate or pump out way too much content in such a short time, I don't know. But again, more X-Men in my eyes is healthy for me, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah,
mate.
you're fine.
Okay. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm literally the worst part of this episode. It is very interesting to see that obviously a season 2 is right around the corner, and the other 3 and 4 are coming out. Are you guys aware that I think it's the showrunner, Bo DeMayo, is not going to be working on the show after season 2? How do you guys feel about that controversy?
I've not really paid much attention to it, in all honesty. I heard something about it when season 1 was just about to drop. Can't remember for the life of me for what it is.
Yeah, same.
Okay, that's fair. I don't want to speak too much about it because, yeah, respectfully, you guys haven't seen it. But yeah, I really thought that was a weird decision because season 1 was so strong, and something similar that I've enjoyed season 1 of and didn't enjoy subsequent seasons was The Witcher on Netflix. I really quite liked season 1, and then there was a lot of negative feedback about the storytelling, the time jumping, the time traveling in between episodes. I quite enjoyed that. I felt like they overcorrected with season 2 and 3, and then having Liam Hemsworth take over as Geralt in season 4 was the final nail in the coffin for me. So yeah, that was a show that over time I enjoyed less and less. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with this. I think obviously there's tons of material to pull from with the X-Men, so I'm hoping that whoever they get to take over is as dedicated and tells their strongest story with involving as many of the characters. I think that's something that's important to note as well. Whether it was someone like Morph or Nightcrawler or someone like Jean, I think everyone had their own story and everyone felt important in their own little way, even the relationship between Roberto and Jubilee, for example. I thought that was a really nice story. So I hope stuff like that doesn't suffer as a result of changing of the guard.
I mean, the way that I kind of look at the X-Men as a whole, right, is that there's such a massive like resonance with so many people and so many directors and creators of like kind of anything. Like it kind of like Spider-Man. They've like I feel like these two IPs, but Spider-Man and X-Men, have woven itself into like like society and culture so much more than like any other like comic book has, because I think it speaks to so many people. Like Spider-Man is like anyone can be Spider-Man. That's the whole point of him. And like X-Men is just like it doesn't matter if you're different. People that read comic books are by default more often than not slightly different to people that are a bit more sort of like mainstream and normal, I guess. So it's one of those things where it's just like so many directors, so many actors, so many creators have such a deep relationship with the X-Men that I'm sure whoever's the showrunner for season 3 and 4 would have put in a pitch to Kevin Feige and the gang and been like, I'm in this because this show in the 90s meant this much to me, and it's a reason that I'm a showrunner and director and so on and so forth now. And that's like I have no doubts that like if they don't find someone that has such a deep connection with the X-Men as the outgoing showrunner does, like there's thousands of directors out there or showrunners out there with plenty of good experience that have loved this IP as much as we do.
Yeah. You hit all the points. Like, I can't really add anything more to that, to be honest.
And like it's just like I think that's like the thing about the X-Men is just like everyone's got their own X-Men story, everyone's got their own like person that they resonate with. So yeah, I'm confident that we'll find a good showrunner. Like that's not really a concern to me. But yeah, like I've loved what they've done with season 1 so far. I'm excited for season 2, and then there's still time to develop a good story for 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how long they want to go with this series, but I do think they've definitely got enough in the can to keep X-Men going for a long time and keep it interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they can go all Days of Future Past and go to modern 2026 if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they could. And I think that's interesting that you say that, because you can see in the finale of season 1, they have messed with time a little bit.
Yeah, I did forget that. And up until so, just for context for literally everyone here that's watching this, I started my rewatch at the weekend, and I didn't get a chance to watch the finale up until today. And I had an Arsenal-based podcast early today, hence the Arsenal shirt. And so I watched half of the episode before that podcast started, and then while we were prepping for this, I ended up watching the last 20 minutes of the episode while on call with with the two guys above me here. So it was one of those things where it's just like I was kind of like semi-narrating it, going like, I forgot all this happened, and then it got to the end with the whole time jump, and I was like, I completely forgot all of that happened. The guy saw my instant reaction. I just sort of like looked back to the camera. I was a bit like, "Wow, well, season 2 is going to be quality."
It's like a private live reaction.
Yeah.
And then the mid-credit scene as well with the appearance of Apocalypse. But it isn't it is Apocalypse, but it's not
Pre-Apocalypse.
Yeah, pre-Apocalypse. I can't remember his name for the life of me at the moment.
Something Egyptian.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. I heard it about 20 minutes ago.
So I think it's Cyclops and Jean who've gone to the future,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then pretty much everyone else is back in the past.
Yeah.
No, there's 3 timelines, if I'm not mistaken. I think,
Oh.
Yeah.
as you said, Jean and Cyclops have gone future. Someone stayed, I think, more in present time, and then some people have gone to the past. I think
Oh, cool.
Wolf. I don't know who's gone to the past. I
No,
think in the
like
trailer.
I feel like everyone went, apart from Jean and Cyclops, went to the past.
I can't remember.
Because Beast was holding Professor X like a baby. Just like cradling him like little Jesus. And then Magneto was obviously with Professor X because they wouldn't have separated those two. And then the rest of the gang were kind of just there looking at pre-apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's something. I need to look that
I'm
one
pretty.
up.
I'm pretty sure that was it.
I mean, obviously, I trust
I
you.
mean,
Ravi. You literally just seen it.
I've literally just seen it, but unless I just got too excited.
I
And just
feel
did...
like, yeah, I feel like they only split in 2 ways. I might be mistaken, but I don't remember there being a scene focusing on who stayed in the relative present. So that's why I'm a bit like I thought it was 2 ways, but I could be wrong. I'm more than happy to.
I just quickly googled it. So the future lot was Cyclops, Jean, Storm, Wolverine, and Morph. And then the guys that stayed in the past was Magneto, Xavier, Rogue, Beast, and Nightcrawler.
Okay.
So-
Has anyone not moved?
It says Wolverine and Morph are missing.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Forge and Bishop are the 2 that stayed within present time.
Right. Oh, okay, cool. That makes sense. Very interesting. I want to see how they tell that story of 3 different timelines.
So according to this as well, it's 3000 BC with pre-apocalypse, who's En Sabah Nur. That's his name.
There we go.
And then the Jean and Cyclops are in 3960 AD. So just the 7,000 years between them.
Damn.
Only a small jump.
Yeah.
What would you guys like to see in season 2?
So the way that it ended with that mid-credit scene of Apocalypse, picking up Gambit's cards. I would love to see a resurrected Gambit as a horseman of the apocalypse. I think that would be sick.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
And in terms of which one, don't know. I think he kind of fits War the most, or
I
no,
can see that.
Death the most. Right? Is Death? Wait,
Yeah, Death is one.
Wrath, Death.
Famine, Conquest.
Pestilence.
I think that's famine in some translations. But yeah, there's a red one, a black one, a pale one, and a white one.
Yeah, Conquest, War, Famine, Death.
Yeah.
In which case, I think, given that he's already dead, he's probably going to be Death. Which will probably make the most sense. And then, who else?
We haven't seen Archangel, so I'd say if they are going with the
I feel that they ran that in the main show.
They did. 100% they did. But I definitely could see if they're going with the 4 horsemen, they could always bring it back. But who knows? We might get Wolverine as one of them if he's missing. There's a potential that him, Gambit, and then maybe Morph. But I don't know what Morph.
I think, maybe, or even if Magneto's mind isn't in order, he could be a member of the 4.
Don't know. I'm actually thinking of people that I could see.
I think Rogue potentially could be one because she was getting very disillusioned with the amount of loss that she's had.
Experienced.
Yeah, and like out of everyone through season 1, I think she went through the ringer the most. Like bad stuff kept on happening to her every episode to a point where like it was almost bullying. Like the writers had some sort of like vendetta. I don't know, but like it was one of those things where just like I thought, you know, like give the girl a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she definitely had a rough go of it, and when the time came near the climax of season 1, I could definitely understand her point of view of why she decided to go with Magneto.
Yeah,
Even though, I don't know, I don't think I think this season did a really good job of humanizing Magneto and making me, I imagine, quite a lot of people sympathize with him and his point of view. Just not so much evil, more so
the world's fucked and we need to change it.
just
right.
I think he's so disillusioned with the world that like he seeks such drastic measures to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think while Professor X wants peace, I think Magneto wants peace through force, through war, however you want to define it. So they both want the same thing, right? They both want mutants to live peacefully.
Yeah.
One's
But
a bit.
I mean, it's a whole Martin Luther King, Malcolm X thing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
it's exactly that. Like that's kind of the basis of both of the characters. It's just one wants it through peace and the like inclusion, and the other one wants it through drastic measures.
Yeah, one's by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
So
the thing is that neither of them are wrong.
Yeah, I would say
that's the thing. Neither of them are wrong.
Yeah, definitely. So I can, Rogue's plight was a lot. So I want to see what her journey's looking like in season 2. Obviously, that's still quite fresh in her membrane. So yeah, how does she cope with that? How does she navigate?
I think if there is going to be someone that is corrupted to, like, and again, this is someone that hasn't seen the trailer for season 2. If they are going to run the whole apocalypse thing, I think if anyone's going to be turned to Apocalypse and his sort of ideology, it is someone that is like, and we've seen this play out through however many instances of real life of just like when people are so disenfranchised and so like and going through it really badly, it's just like they find answers in the worst places, and you know she would be the easiest person to turn. Because she's had like traumatic experience after traumatic experience, and I think that's what I would do if I were the writers. But you know, I think that if we're deciding that it's going to be Rogue and Gambit at the very least, at least it's a way, and like Apocalypse can even put it to her, going like, I can bring him back if you join me. Like it's an easy thing to write.
Yeah.
And I think for me it's that, and then you can pick 2 other people, and whoever they are going to be good picks.
Yeah, it's a like you said, it's an easy story to tell, but I think it's a good story to tell.
Yeah.
I think it's something that makes sense to the viewers. I think you should do it. Like again, this is something that
it's low hanging fruit. Just do the thing. Just do the thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's another for wrestling, for example. Sometimes people complain about predictability, but I would like to look at it like this is a good story. You've clearly told an arc. This is the next step. I don't think that's a bad thing. Absolutely not. I don't want to say anything that might give too much away because you haven't seen it.
Go for it. Discuss, like, obviously the trailer's out there. And as I said, like, feel free to discuss it and you'll get my reaction to whatever's happening in the trailer, like, live. As you saw before we went live here.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely Wolverine's story in season 2 is going to be very interesting. I think he's going to be one of the more pivotal characters.
Okay.
And I think he was one of the top bill anyway. He was one of the A rank cast in season 1, but I think he's going to be the most important character to follow in season 2. He's got a different suit. It's red instead of blue, so I'm very, very excited to see where that goes. And yeah, I want to see where Feral Wolverine goes, and I think his friend is going to be in season 2. I'm pretty sure he's in the trailer. I can't remember now. Pretty sure Sabretooth is in the trailer for season 2.
I actually can't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I
don't know.
I'm not sure if Sabretooth died during the main.
But it doesn't mean he can't be in a new part or a new Sabretooth or a different version.
It's a different time, yeah.
Also true.
But there was one character I wanted to talk about during the trailer, which I was like, oh shit. Oh, there's two. I always butcher her name. She's the one that has kinetic energy, normally has the purple outfit. Yeah, she's in the new season, which I was really excited to see. And
your microphone blacked out then. I don't know if that was like a bad.
Yeah, that was
like
surprise.
There, that was like a spoiler alert on my headphones.
Deadpool has been shown.
Oh shit! Okay.
Like it was for a split second, but I was like, "Wait, that's." I had to kind of like rewind it like a couple seconds just to confirm, and I was like, "Yeah, he's actually in the series." So it's going to be interesting to see how they use him as well, because it might be a way of trying to do a Deadpool cartoon where they kind of like do like a reboot of it, or even just a new version of it. It'll be interesting to see, and how he breaks the fourth wall. Because if they don't do the whole Deadpool shtick, I'll be a bit disappointed. But I have faith. I actually have a lot of faith in this series.
Is it really Deadpool if he doesn't break the fourth wall? So I'm hoping he does. I'm hoping it's well written. I'm hoping it's funny. I trust the vision. That's actually interesting, because we did see quite a few cameos during season 1, and I don't know if cameo is the right word, but we did see people who aren't X-Men in the series, right? We saw Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We saw Captain America. He even, Daredevil, yeah. He didn't throw hands, but Rogue got involved. He was
just there, just kind of looking around at like the magnetism thing.
Yeah. So I think we will be in store for more surprises in season 2. I can't wait to see who they get to pull and how they deliver that. I do think phenomenal one. You might have hit the nail on the head there. I think maybe they're trying to Trojan horse the situation to see how many other series can we get picked up. Can we get a Daredevil animated series? Can we get an Avengers animated series? I would like to see who else they can get on board. Yeah. I actually have a question for you both. This obviously season 1 has been a wild success for X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Are there any other series, Marvel or not, that you'd like to see given a similar revival treatment?
Ooh. Well, they are doing a new Spider-Man animated series at the moment, which is actually pretty good. Again, watched that with my son. It's really nice to kind of get him into what I was into when I was a little kid, in the sense like Spider-Man, X-Men, Power Rangers, all that kind of deal. I would have said Batman, but because unfortunately the voice actor's gone, like I don't want to see someone replace his performance, if that makes sense. God, I don't actually know. Yeah,
that's So Spider-Man's an easy one for me, and when I say Spider-Man, I mean with the original, or maybe not the original, but the 90s. Yeah, that specific one. Get it done. I know you can. You've done it before. If they could do that, I'd love that. Also, I feel like the art style in that Spider-Man was really good. Everyone looked really detailed, and everyone looked really macho and strong. Shocker and Venom and Carnage, I thought they all looked larger than life.
Yeah.
I would love a Spider-Man revival. Not to disrespect any current Spider-Mans existing, but if they could get that opening back, I'm
for it.
I'm here, I'm ready. Ravi, do you have any? Because I've got a couple more.
I'd love a Miles Morales show. I think it's a thing that it would be so easy to tell. Because there's no sort of like TV or film to draw from. It's a new IP but a familiar one. Because I think enough people know about Miles Morales that you can tell a story that people would be interested in, but it would still feel new because no one's seen it outside of a video game or comic book. Um, I think that would be a real easy one. But like for me, what I've been doing lately is like I was watching Smallville while I was like desperately unemployed last year. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, there's such a gap for that sort of like thing of just sort of like heroes who are becoming heroes, or like younger version of themselves. And even like they tried telling this in Marvel, but just didn't go anywhere with it with the Young Avengers, and they had a great cast list for it. But that's not seemingly gone anywhere. So you can definitely do something like that, as well, like whether it's animated or as a limited series or anything like that. Like I'd I'd enjoy something like that, but like something where they're bringing new heroes and new stories to life. Because I think, how many times have we seen like a Batman like origin story or a Spider-Man origin story? Like we don't need that anymore, but like we could do with different variations of, say, like Miles Morales, or like even the Spider-Man India that they had in Across the Spider-Verse. Like you can have different, you can have such different things. It's just whether they actually want to do it or not.
Yeah, I think really they could tell such a good story. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Fans who grew up enjoying these shows are now capable adults who do a lot of this stuff as passion projects. You've got many content creators that are out here who, you have Dragon Ball Z centric creators, you have Spider-Man centric creators. You could hire them, you could work with them and put out the best possible product for that hero, for that IP. So
Yeah.
it's definitely doable. There's no excuse. I think the Spider-Verse, the two films so far has shown just how far you can take this amazing story. And I think they've hit the nail on the head. They're my favorite Spider-Man films ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And they're not live action. I think they've told such a strong story and developed all of these characters so well. Yeah, there's no excuse. They could hit that one so well, so easily. For me, I'm going Teen Titans.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I think they could really tell. No disrespect to Teen Titans Go. I actually think that's a really good show. I think people who hate that show haven't watched enough of it. I'd say watch 3 episodes and I think you'd get
I've
it.
always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it.
Because Bo, that's why. Like, I mean, unless you're like some grumpy, like if you're a miserable sod who doesn't want any happiness or jokes in their shows, all right, fair enough, you don't like it. But I think Teen Titans Go is like perfect light-hearted stuff that could just get you through the day. It's more akin to like a SpongeBob or a regular show or an Adventure Time where it's silly, it's fun. Let it be. I
Yeah.
think it's great. But the OG Teen Titans, bring that back ASAP viciously. I'm here for it. I think they could tell such a strong story with that. I think the dark and gritty nature of that show was so compelling, and I was hooked on every episode and every arc. And when they introduced Slade, I couldn't wait to see how that show would conclude, and I think it got cancelled. So I
did.
I would like I would like it if we got that Samurai Jack treatment of let's finish this. Let's tell a really good ending story to wrap everything up. And also, Robin's a legend for someone who has no powers. He's the scariest Titan of them all. He's wild. He's the one I want to fight the least out of all of them. I would put Static Shock up there as well. I'd love a Static Shock reboot. I don't know how well it would do because obviously Trump tax. But I do think they could tell a good quality story. So I'm here for it. I'd watch it out of defiance. I'd watch every film. I think Static Shock, even back then, was so ahead of its time, and it was really good. I was hooked. The characters, Hot Streak, and even that awkward moment with Static and Richie's dad. That's something that's in here forever. Like it's a real problem that a lot of people have to face, especially when you talk about a country that's colonized a lot of the world. That's a real problem that you have to look through, and I think shows that tackle those real life topics in a way that is digestible for viewers from any point of view, I think that's really strong and really something that should be brought back. Bring back Static Shock. I'm here for it. Batman of the Future. That's another one. I love Terry McGinnis. I love, obviously, Bruce Wayne. He's the GOAT. But Terry McGinnis might be my favorite Batman. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not too familiar with it.
Okay. I think I did too much of it. Maybe 2-3 seasons. But
was it cut out?
Yeah, I did see him freeze, and I was a bit like, oh, I don't know when this is going to cut out.
I'm trying to think of.
But that's his fault for talking about Batman on a X-Men podcast.
True. They're like, yeah, it's DC. Cut it.
Yeah, DC just like, hey.
I'm so sorry, guys. My Wi-Fi's gone again. Oh, okay. I'm gonna try.
No, it's fine. We were saying that's your fault for talking about DC.
Marvel, cut your power. So Teen Titans, Static Shock, and Batman, get him out quick.
Go.
Yeah. Oh man. Batman of the Future is really good, and I think they could do a really good job if they revamp that. It's a new twist, and you wouldn't have the whole Kevin Conroy issue. Rest in peace to an absolute legend of the game. You wouldn't have necessarily that issue. You could tell a new story with a new Batman. And Batman's doing so well in so many mediums: video games, movies, TV series, whether it's like animated or live action. So I don't think McGinnis gets enough love, so I would love that. And then finally, another DC property. So I'm gonna get this one out before I get cut off permanently. Justice League. I think it's unlimited. I can't remember the one. Everyone's like super top heavy.
But like a good version of it.
I think that's a good show. Okay.
No, I just think that Justice League has been done dirty for so long.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of DC, if I'm
Yeah,
to be brutally honest with you. I think Batman and the more recent Superman is the first time I've ever watched a Superman movie from start to finish and gone, oh, that's good.
You know what, fair.
Other than that. But yeah, that's my take on DC.
Oh, that's fair. I should have maybe come up with Marvel properties.
If I was going to say one, well, two. I know it's kind of been done to death with Wolverine, like the backstory origin of him, but I'd like to see him in different stages of time. So, like back in the samurai days, and then in World War. Like, even if it's not just him fighting mutants, it's just his life and what he experienced and how he became so kind of like cold, if that makes sense. Because I feel like that's one story that I'd really like. Or the Hulk. I'd like to see a really good Hulk TV series, especially with like animation these days. We don't see much media from the Hulk in general, other than She-Hulk, which got cancelled for good reasons. But I'd like to see a really good Hulk animated series. Like, again, you got shows like Demon Slayer, which look incredible. Imagine like the Hulk fighting Abomination with like the art style of that, or JJK. Like, oh, it'd be chef's kiss. It'd be wicked.
I mean, also to that point of like an origins thing, I'd love like an anthology series of like X-Men Origins, of just like it could be 2 30-minute episodes on each character or whatever, or like Wolverine might have like 3-4 episodes based on like however many decades he's lived. But like, give me like an origin thing of like, because they explored, like going back to X-Men 97, like they explored Storm's claustrophobia and that side of like her character, but like to see the origin of like where these characters get this sort of like sense of self and like ideology would be so good. Even if they did some like villain ones as well on like for example like they've shown Apocalypse every now and again like snippets from like his past and everything, and maybe in season 2 they're going to really flesh out his backstory. But then like you've got some other villains across like the X-Men where you can look at it and be like, I just want to know why you've got this like ideology.
Yeah.
That's a really good shout, to be honest. I can't believe that that's not been done already, because
Yeah.
you can go on for so long with that. A little,
Well, because like I think the plan was during the X-Men movies to do that for a lot of the characters, and then like they just did like 3 Wolverine movies instead, as opposed to like giving everyone like their own movie, or like giving everyone. And I think this is because like the Disney Plus show format didn't exist, but like you can for sure do a 6-episode thing on Wolverine, on like how he's gotten to present day, and like just do like an episode a decade or something like that, and with like Jean, and or like even like do an episode on the first class of like superheroes that Professor X picked up, but like not even how they became X-Men, but just like you can almost have an episode on each of them on how ending each episode ending with how he found them.
I think that'd be sick.
Yeah,
I think that's how they should build up to the movie, to be honest with you. Exactly what you said. I think if they're going to do the first X-Men movie, don't have Wolverine in it. I'd say stick to the first class that he had, which was Iceman, Storm. Was Storm a part of it? No, it was Iceman, Cyclops.
What are we talking
Jean.
about? Are we talking about the one in X-Men 97, or like just in general? Like
in general.
Yeah, because it's Jean, Cyclops, Storm.
Yeah, and then Iceman and Beast, right?
Iceman, Beast. I think, like, well, X-Men 97 likes to say that Morph and Angel were also part of that first class, but then like it's subjective on whether they were actually in that.
Yeah, but with the whole live action movies coming up, I'd like to see him use a lot of the like TV series of, again, exploring the characters so you can get that depth and build that rapport with Jean, Cyclops, Iceman, and kind of get to know him before you actually go into the movie. Because if they don't go with the whole, oh, here's Wolverine, guys, people kind of like, oh, well, I don't really want to watch it. But if you have a series on Disney Plus where they can go, here's the reason why he does this, here's this character, and this is his upbringing, and then you can go, oh, well, I'm a bit more attached to Iceman now. And then you can go into watching it and have that connection with the characters.
Yeah,
I think that'd be sick.
I think what it would also be good as well, because like I think Iceman's an Omega level mutant as well.
He is, yeah.
To explain like just how and why like the classifications of mutants are the way that they are, because like it's all well and good like hearing like Master Mold going like Omega level threat detected, but then it's just like. But what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, at what metric is that?
That's a fair point. I personally have no love for the X-Men live action films because I just don't like any of them, to be honest. But
not even First Class.
Not even Days of Future Past.
I hate all of them. I don't think there's really.
Do you hate Logan? Do you not like
Logan's
Logan?
Good. But that's not. Yeah, I like Logan. Logan's good. I just because it's a solo. I'm like, that's not X-Men. Yeah.
Go back, watch Day of Future Past and First Class, and then come back to me and tell me you don't like their movies. They were sick.
Do you know what? Fuck it, just give it a rewatch, innit? Like it's just good, it's just good crack.
I'm very excited for actually good X-Men live action films to exist. So every revival is a chance for redemption. Just like the X-Men 97 series was a really good redemption for the likes of Cyclops. He was done really dirty in the films. So I think yeah, I'll go see him with an open mind. I don't like trailers either, like you, Ravi. I think they have done a really bad job. I think that's Hollywood in general of just giving you too much in the trailers.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'll go in relatively cold, but I very much like your idea of an X-Men origin series of each mutant discovering their powers and ending with
yeah,
Charles Xavier convincing them to come to the school. I think that's a really strong concept. We've seen that proof of concept work with the What If series anyway, so it
Yeah.
can
yeah. But
work.
the what if like fucked themselves over because what it should have been is a what if anthology series of each movie with just something slightly off in each movie. But then
I
they
get
just
that.
like, in my opinion, they fucked it up when they made it a Captain Carter TV show.
I agree with that. Yeah, yeah. I agree with. It should be focusing on different characters in each episode.
Yeah,
We don't need a series focused on. We don't need a part two, part three. That is
yeah,
definitely not what I'm trying. That's definitely not what I want to see. But there are enough X-Men, and there might be some Wolverine fatigue. He's definitely been one of the more focused one over the last 20 years. So it would be good to see like a Quicksilver or a Mystique one, a Sabretooth one. Like, let's see how they interact or their beginnings because we get to see them, as they come, I guess, at their peak in most cases. So it would be nice to see their origin story. I wanted to use another word, but yeah, their origins. That would be cool to see it specifically because I don't think we've seen enough of that.
yeah, yeah. So for me, how would map it out, right? And this is just me doing it off the top of the dome, right? And this is like I do 8 episodes, right? So first one I do Professor X on just like his whole origin, and it goes to him going into episode 2 with Magneto, and then they do the whole like so it's like a double episode on Professor X, but the second one really heavily features Magneto, and sort of like that's where you see this ideology like separate. And at the end of episode 2, he says he's going to open a school for mutants, and he's going to find his first class of mutants. Then I'd go into if you're going to say Jean and Cyclops are like if effectively the first couple of like people there, give me like a rom-com episode of like a child or sort of like their sort of like not childhood but sort of like their teenage years, just sort of like as they sort of like understand each other and just sort of like their powers and like how Professor X like gets them involved. Then I'd go with just a whole thing on Storm. Just go like there is that it feels like a tonal shift completely from everything else, and it's just like a Storm thing. It's borderline horror, given the fact that she of her claustrophobia and her sort of like that side of things, and then sort of like her mastering the elements and the weather. Then who else are we saying that's in it? Iceman. Give me like pun intended, a cool Iceman story. And who else are we having in here? Wolverine. We'll do 2 episodes on Wolverine as just like a sort of like sideways step, not in, and that's the one where you don't have any of the other characters in there. You just let him do his own thing, and you'll be like, he's important later, but just remember it, kind of thing. And then bring it back to the last couple of episodes of Beast, and maybe one more of Choice that you'd have in there, with the final episode leading into the first movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we know who's going to replace Bro de Mayo for X-Men showrunner.
Listen, hire me, take me out of this finance life. Let me run X-Men.
I'll give you that LinkedIn endorsement.
Yeah, LinkedIn recommendation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. Are there any final comments about X-Men that we haven't already spoken about that you want to get off your chest?
I think we hit majority of the subject matters personally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for the new season. Like, and it's what, 1st of July. You said it's coming out, right?
Yeah.
So a few weeks to go, and I think I just want a coherent story. Because I think with X-Men, and given the amount of characters in there and the nuances with those characters, it's so hard. It's so hard to keep everything on track. Season 1 of '97 did it really, really well. Albeit really using Rogue as a punching bag. But if it leads into something for season 2, it's worth it. Like, you've got the payoff now. So yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to have more sort of like X-Men, the anime style. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a healthy discussion about everything X-Men, and even though I'm a casual, I think I've gained a lot of information and knowledge from you both. I think that season 1 has been so strong. It's definitely been one of the strongest seasons of anything that I've seen. So I am hoping season 2 is able to carry on the amazing hot streak that season 1 started. I'm hoping we don't get like an Attack on Titan where season 2 was kind of after having to wait for so long. So yeah, I'm hoping we're not going to get that. We won't have too long to wait either. 1st of July on Disney Plus. Other streamers.
Hashtag not nad.
yeah.
Yeah, this is not a sponsored stream, but if they do want to.
Love that. That's the LinkedIn endorsement right there.
At Marvel.
Yeah. Thank you both, Ravi and the Phenomenal One, for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it, and carrying at times where my Wi-Fi really had it out for me.
Just don't talk about
One?
DC. Just don't talk about DC during a Marvel podcast.
Well, maybe if they sponsored, I would not talk about DC.
True.
Yeah, I'm up for sale. Phenomenal One.
Chill.
I'm so ready to be a sellout. The Phenomenal One. You've been on fire this year with a lot of your streams, and obviously your partnerships with the great giants like Logitech. Tell the people how they can follow you and what you got going on.
So you can follow me on all forms of social media at The Phenomenal One. If it's not the number 1, it'll be 1. Why can't I talk today? 1. It's like asleep. I've been doing a lot more reaction content based around media, so a lot more trailers. I'm looking at doing some music reaction content soon, and potentially moving into trailers and or wrestling, but I've seen a lot of DMCA strikes about that, so we won't talk about that one. And you can also find me on Twitch, where I play a variety of FPSs, and I've recently started playing Call of Duty with my feet. So yeah. Yeah.
So for the sickos.
Yep.
Now, are the feet on stream as well?
They are, yeah. They are. But I am wearing my Crocs when I'm playing, because I know there'll be some person out there that's having a field day watching my feet. So
you're about to make some money, bro. Whilst Ravi is shaking his head in disgust, please let the people know how they can follow you and support you, because you have been on fire as well, much like the Arsenal team, both men and women.
I mean, I've just gotten back into streaming again. I went live for the first time. What was it? A couple of days ago. In many months. Playing some Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I'm just looking at getting back into like enjoying gaming again. And like where it's kind of felt like a chore at times. I'm now in a point where I'm just like, do you know what? I can kind of start to enjoy it a little bit more. Maybe I'll download an old Football Manager and play that again. Maybe I'll put some of my I'm playing Pro Evo 2013 with a modern patch on my PC, so maybe I'll stream some of that one day. at the moment, it's just as and when I feel like it. So there's no schedules here. It's just vibes. So if you want to follow, it's on Twitch. It's Parman1993, and then yeah, like just you'll see the notification when I go live, and yeah, it should come through.
Awesome. I'll make sure to put those links in the comment section and in the description, wherever that goes. And when you're done following Ravi and supporting the Phenomenal One, why don't you follow the Streamcast? Of course, we are live twice a month right here on YouTube, youtube.com/Streamcast, with the live podcast that should go out in about 24, 48 hours on wherever you get your podcasts. That includes the likes of Spotify and Apple. Why don't you leave us a review there? Let us know where we can improve, what you like. Constructive and positive criticism is all welcome. I meant to say feedback, but that's all good. We're also on TikTok and Instagram, Streamcast_, where you can get some extra content, little bite-sized stuff. We're starting to do a little thing of talking about the latest in gaming. So if that's more your speed, 60 seconds, follow us there. We are so close to hitting some milestones, by the way, on the likes of TikTok and Instagram. And even here, we're close to 600 subs. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, set it to all so you get our content where as soon as it goes out. And we also have our monthly game nights returning. Unfortunately, we had to push June's one back, but it will still go out on Friday, the 12th of June. Let me put the Phenomenal One over here because I'm blocking his face. You got to see the. Got to give the people what they want. We'll be at Zombie Games Cafe in Northwest London, and the tickets are completely free. It's more of our monthly community outreach get together. So make sure you check us out on Eventbrite. Get a ticket. Come through on Friday. Come through on Friday from 7 p.m. It's going to be in collaboration with Zombie Games Cafe. So we're going to have a lot of board games that you can try out. And I'm sure we'll find something fun to play. And you will leave with at least one more friend than you enter with. So come through. It's one of the most wholesome and friendly communities out there. And it's purely for the gamers.
You should say by the gamers then, but we'll save it for next time.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Yeah.
Live now.
That's some post-production editing there.
By the gamers, yes. I don't know when the next episode will be because I'm gonna take a little bit of a mental break, but I'll be back better than ever, sooner than ever. And you won't have long to wait, I'm sure. So wherever you are, make sure to enjoy the games that you're playing, stay safe, and take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And like Ravi so generously suggested, the new Streamcast slogan, Desidero cum racite time bant. Look it up. See you next time, guys.
Thanks.